Save half price on fresh pork shoulder roast, just $2.39 per pound. Save $1.30 on white whole mushrooms, $2.99 for a 10-ounce package. New frozen 9-ounce Taipei Asian-style entree, just $3.99 for select varieties. Frozen 12.3-ounce Eggo waffles, $4.59 for select varieties. $3.99 for a 5-ounce bag of select varieties of wholesome pantry organic popcorn. All stores open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m.
You can count on us.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
You're watching Bermuda Broadcasting News. It's Wednesday, April the 11th. I'm Jasmine Patterson, and thanks for joining us tonight. Forecasters have issued a severe weather warning for this evening, with conditions expected to deteriorate into the night. The Bermuda Weather Service says an approaching low-pressure system is to blame, which could bring wind speeds of up to 57 miles an hour. Michelle Pitcher, the Weather Service Deputy Director, told Tarai Trott we can expect similar windy weather to that experienced some weeks ago.
So we have a very active cold front that's slowly making its approach to Bermuda. We expect the western marine area to start experiencing some severe squalls about 4 or 5 this afternoon. And then later on, this will start impacting the island in the early evening hours. There's thunderstorms as well associated with the squalls, and we expect gusts right now up to 50 knots within some of the heavier showers and thunderstorms. The front is expected to pass soon after midnight, and then we're going to see a rapid decrease in winds and shower activity. So dawn on Thursday should be a bit more settled, though still breezy.
And that storm comes at a bad time if you're trying to follow the weather. The popular weather radar on the Bermuda Weather Service website has been unavailable for the past few days. Staff at the BWS have confirmed that it is out of service and say they are baffled as to the cause of the breakdown. Here's the BWS Deputy Director Michelle Pitcher once again.
I'm afraid that we don't know exactly what the issue is. The technicians have been working on it since it's been down late Sunday night. Currently, they are talking to the manufacturers, which are in Germany, and hopefully we will have some news sooner rather than later. Still no estimated return to service at this time.
And we'll have a comprehensive look at the weather later on in the show in our AccuWeather forecast. A runaway car caused panic on Cavendish Road this afternoon, narrowly missing a number of vehicles before crashing through a wall and falling 20 feet down an embankment. Cameramen Kyle McNeil and Gary Moreno were on the scene. More in this report.
This is the aftermath of what could very well have turned out to be an horrific event. The driver of this vehicle had reportedly parked it on Hibiscus Drive in Pembroke, which slopes onto Cavendish Road, when, for some as yet unexplained reason, unoccupied, it rolled down the incline into the major road, leaving this driver in fear for her life.
We were driving east, and the car shot out of Hibiscus Lane. It was going so fast we couldn't see if anyone was driving or not. And it struck the wall and went over the embankment. I actually screamed because I thought someone was in the car, and I was concerned for that person. Thank God no one was in the car.
The owner of the runaway car left scratching his head as he too tried to come to terms with what had happened. While clearly concerned, he would be no doubt thankful he was not inside the vehicle at the time. Gracie Kilpatrick, meanwhile, a regular visitor from the U.S., told us this was not the kind of excitement she'd hoped to experience on her latest trip here.
Yeah, I was sitting up on the deck right there, and I heard a woman scream, and within 2 seconds I heard this loud crash, and then a second one, and I ran over, and I saw this. I came running down, and to see if anyone was hurt, I was just so scared that someone was hurt. I heard her scream, and it was terrifying to hear it, and thank God no one's hurt. There was smoke coming out of the car, and that stopped. And
so what did you think when you found out what had happened?
When I found out that no one was in the car, I was just so thankful, and I was thankful that she was okay, because hearing someone scream like that scary is hard to hear.
Another driver, whose own car was narrowly missed by the out-of-control vehicle, recounted the moment she saw what was happening.
And at the time, we saw the car come down the hill, and we was wondering why they wasn't stopping at the stop sign, and they just went right across the street. And I mean, if we were any closer, the car actually would have struck, the van would have actually struck us.
A two-man Belco crew was on hand to deal with a severed power line, and the emergency responders thankfully did not have to go into action, leaving only the police officers on scene with the task of determining the true cause of this incident, which could have turned out far, far worse. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
In a second dramatic road incident today, a car overturned on North Shore Road in Devonshire near Barker's Hill. A witness says the driver collided with a limestone wall and the car ended up on its side. The driver was not seriously injured but taken to hospital for checks. No other vehicles were involved. Traffic diversions were put in place for a short time, with the crashed vehicle removed by a tow truck shortly after the incident. More news after the break, including details of that severe weather tonight. Stay with us.
The Marketplace Food Court is you and your family's one-stop shop. Start your day at the breakfast bar with omelets made to order and traditional Bermuda codfish breakfast. The chefs will cook lunch and dinner to your liking. Along with the salad bar, sandwich bar, sushi bar, and fruit bar, the Marketplace Food Court is your kitchen away from home. Every day is hassle-free with nutritious meals from the Marketplace Food Court. Visit us 7 days a week. Homemade cooking, quality service, all at prices you can count on.
Step into the next generation of sinks, faucets, tubs, and more with the bold look of Kohler. Choose from a range of whole room solutions, or let an individual piece be your guide for a feel-good, look-good quality. Pure inspiration at your fingertips. Kohler's Next Generation Showroom at BAC.
Welcome back. The twin scourges of diabetes and road traffic accidents mean Bermuda has a disproportionate number of amputees. This month is Limb Loss Awareness Month, an effort to educate people about those missing legs or arms. Ryan Gibbons is already helping to shine a light on the lives of amputees. He's using social media to post helpful tips and exercise advice while raising the profile of those like him who've experienced the loss of a limb. It was complications after a bike accident that saw Ryan lose part of his right leg 8 years ago. Now a full-time bartender and an avid runner, he's trying to show his followers on social media that people who've lost a limb can lead productive, busy lives. But as Ryan knows too, that's not the full picture. Many amputees suffer severe depression, especially immediately after losing a limb. 36% of U.S. amputees say they've contemplated suicide. For Ryan, this month is about speaking up.
Not all of them have a voice. If you want to go over to King Edward, there's a bunch of people sitting out the front and they are quite much in despair, not knowing what to do. I have a voice. I was already kind of in the public eye from the job that I do in hospitality. I really enjoy the fitness and I want to take it to the next level. I'd like to be the fastest single-leg amputee in the world over long distance. That is my goal.
Ryan says many of the amputations in Bermuda are preventable.
Bermuda leads the world in amputations between cardiovascular disease, diabetes, traumatic amputations from vehicular accidents. Those are three of the biggest, 3 of 4 causes of the major causes of amputation.
Medical costs are a particular concern for amputees like Ryan. Prosthetic limbs cost at least $12,000. Many are much more expensive. While some insurance companies provide a $100,000 lifetime allowance for prosthetic devices that can quickly be spent, with new limbs needed as people grow and technology advances. Ryan says instead of a flat figure, coverage should be on a case-by-case basis.
At $100,000, I have the same coverage as someone much younger than me, and they will be growing out of their devices at a higher rate. So there needs to be parity. So we have to keep, if you can talk to your parliamentarian representative, writing letters in to them, insurance companies. The Bermuda Health Council has been fantastic as far as trying, certain parliamentarians have been really instrumental in getting that cap from $15,000 where it was in 2010 to $100,000 right now.
Beyond financial and medical needs, Ryan says more should be done to help amputees who may be struggling with mental health issues.
I know I struggle with it. I found fitness is a good outlet for me, and it's become beneficial, not just for physical health, but for mental health, knowing that I was going to be able to push myself to do things and gain some independence.
And if you want more information on how you can support a loved one or friend after the loss of a limb, contact the active amputee on Instagram or find Ryan Gibbons on social media.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This AccuWeather forecast here on ZBM is brought to you by our friends at the BF&M Insurance Group, and we have a pretty tumultuous forecast for the evening hours. Big area of disturbed weather is moving at least into the area right now through the evening hours. We expect the rain to increase. It may not quite match the intensity of the thunderstorms that we faced back on Sunday. We had some screaming winds then, as you likely remember. But we do have a thunderstorm concern here that could bring some gusty winds for the evening hours, so be aware of that. Things are just kind of ramping up here this evening. Temperature 71 to 72 across the island, humidity 86%. The winds are increasing from the southwest with this strong front just off to the northwest on our doorstep. It is creating more agitated wave action once again. Waves on the outside back up to 6 to 9 feet, on the inside of the reef about 2 to 3 feet. So tonight, clouds increase. It's becoming windy. Rain and thunderstorms will build into the area for the evening and early part of the overnight. Later on tonight, we expect this to drop down just to some leftover showers after 3 or 4 a.m. So small craft warning is in effect through Thursday afternoon. So that'll be with us for about 24 hours. High tide 6:16. Tide goes back out just after midnight, comes back in tomorrow morning early, and then we have another low tide just after lunch tomorrow. But again, small craft warning, not the best boating weather for our friends out there. And you can see where the winds are shifting just to the northwest of our fair island here. You can see that's where the front is located, and that's also a greater concentration of showers right along the front there. And some of those thunderstorms will be pushing into the area. You can see through the late night hours, this is going to push in, and eventually tomorrow the front more decisively pushes south and will begin to turn brighter once again. And then into Friday, we look great with a nice large Bermuda high pressure system parked right over our heads. So the rebound will come pretty quickly after this stormy evening. Partly sunny, still breezy tomorrow, a little cooler out there as well, as the winds will be blowing from the north and northwest. Highs only around 68, so it'll be noticeably cooler. Our weather alerts, again, we have a thunderstorm advisory through tonight. Also a severe weather watch for the evening hours. We're most concerned about gusty winds, hopefully not as bad as what we faced back on Sunday. And then a small craft warning, as we mentioned, through tonight into tomorrow and even tomorrow afternoon. Taking a look around the western world here, we have at least some showers in Toronto and New York, warming up nicely across eastern sections of North America. Miami 81, a little quieter after they had some big storms a day or two ago. London looks milder, more spring-like there with some showers across the United Kingdom. Down into the Caribbean, scattered showers, warmer 89 in Trinidad. We're heating up out there as those water temperatures begin to rise as we step deeper into 2018. So after we get rid of those storms tonight, we look pretty nice, and the boating weather will be great by Friday and Saturday with calmer water thanks to that high pressure system parked overhead. Have a good one.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
This summer I was in Germany on holiday with my family, and on a whim one day my son and I joined a speed sliding competition, and as I came down the water slide I went straight down in the pool and whacked my left foot on the bottom of the pool, and I looked down and I didn't see a foot. I just saw the bones sticking out and I started to feel faint. I was ambulanced to a hospital where I stayed for 11 days and had surgery. I had snapped all the ligaments on both sides of my ankle. And in the middle of all this stress and pain, we thought, how are we going to deal with health insurance? How will we pay for this? And I got a response from Allison at BF&M, and she said, your admission and surgery will be covered at 100%. I didn't have to put it on a credit card and deal with a reimbursement later. It made such a big difference to us. And for me, the BF&M difference is stress-free insurance when I really needed it.
This is Rick Blomquist of De Pere, Wisconsin. His life is pretty comfortable. He lives in a comfy home, wears comfortable shoes. He even has a comfortable job. Rick Blomquist thought he had comfort all figured out. But then he laid on a Serta and realized his life was only just sorta comfortable. The new Certa iComfort Hybrid Mattress. Not just sorta comfortable, Certa comfortable.
Feel the difference a good night's sleep can make. Exclusively available at Dreams, Bermuda's only mattress gallery.
It's one of the most uncomfortable things to think about. But the truth is, you are going to die.
I would be on a ventilator for a maximum of 4 days.
I don't want any pain. Medicating me to a point that I'm unable to communicate, I'm okay with that.
In no situation would I want to be kept alive on machines.
Mortality is an inevitability, so why is talking about it so taboo? Having no plan in place can leave families at loggerheads and can be a major drain on the healthcare system.
Join me, Tony Waterman, for a week-long special looking at end-of-life care here in Bermuda. From hospice in Wales to the latest technology helping seniors thrive, we'll arm you with the information to help demystify that final journey we all have to take. Talking Death, starting April 23rd.
The whale watching season is underway as humpbacks migrate past the island. They're on the way to their feeding grounds in the North Atlantic. Their visit provides both locals and tourists with the opportunity to see the whales close up, if the weather cooperates, of course. Hal Davis reports.
For many tourists, it's the highlight of a trip to Bermuda. The spring arrival of the humpbacks sees packed tour boats often treated to a spectacular show. Not every trip will encounter whales, of course, but Nigel Pollard of the Bermuda Aquarium Museum and Zoo, who leads tours, says they can be an unforgettable experience.
You can expect to see a lot of ocean. We spend a lot of time driving around. The whales are never in the same place, so we do spend a bit of time cruising around. But when we come across them, it's pretty spectacular. We get to see, from the distance, we see their humps. We see them every so often breaching or playing on the surface. And every so often, you're very lucky that the whales decide to come a bit closer to you and really give you a show. So sometimes it is a beyond belief experience.
Andrew Stevenson has been studying the whales around Bermuda for 12 years, producing books, articles and spectacular images. Some smaller whales are in Bermudian waters at various times of the year. But Stevenson says it's the island's location in the Atlantic, right in the middle of the humpback spring migration, that makes Bermuda unique.
Bermuda is in the middle of the ocean, and it's also in the middle of their migratory path. So we have this incredible window here into their pelagic social lives, pelagic meaning mid-ocean social lives, that nowhere else in the world has got this kind of platform providing this window. So we're very lucky here.
Mr. Stevenson says whale watching in the waters around Bermuda is unsurpassed, providing the weather plays its part.
We can have inclement weather this year we had inclement weather for 6 weeks where I just couldn't get out. But then we had 1 week of absolutely glorious weather where it makes up for those 6 weeks of bad weather. But you can never predict.
That's not the only problem. The interaction between humans and whales is often difficult. This humpback was discovered caught up in ropes in a net in the Pacific before being freed. Andrew Stevenson says huge numbers of North Atlantic humpbacks have scars caused by getting tangled in ropes and lines.
65% of the whales that we see here at least have got entanglement scars on them. These are the ones that have survived. So there are many whales that were entangled that just sink down to the bottom with the weight of the entanglement. I've seen 4 entangled whales here. This year we had another one. I spent about 2 hours with it, but I don't have the specialized equipment that can help us release these whales. And until I get it, every time I see a whale like that, I just have to let it go.
Even apparently harmless activities like whale watching need to make sure they don't harm these huge mammals. Bermuda government guidelines stress that boats should not approach within 100 metres of whales and should only move at a constant slow speed below 7 knots. The full advice is at www.environment.bm, whale-watching-guidelines, and contains a warning not to cause the whales unnecessary stress. A reminder that while the size of these magnificent creatures may make them look invulnerable, mankind has rarely shown them the respect and care they surely deserve. Howell Davis, Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Public transportation is a key issue in Bermuda. Not surprising, then, that a government call for the public to make its views known on the subject has prompted thousands of responses. Tony Waterman sat down with the Minister of Transport, Walter Raban, to find what the public had to say and how the government will respond.
Well, we're happy to announce that we had almost 2,400 responses just online alone. That doesn't include the people who may have come in and provided a written copy. So we are happy and pleased with such a successful survey.
Are there any trends that are starting to emerge from the responses that you've seen so far?
People are concerned about availability of buses, people are concerned about the safety, people are interested in other options that they can take advantage of. So these are some of the things that are perhaps normal, but people want better transport and seeing where it's going to go. So we're committed to using those results, whether it be the survey and our ongoing consultations, to shape that.
Was there any particular thing that the government or yourself was specifically looking to implement, perhaps regardless of what came back from the public consultation?
Well, I think road safety, but more so improving the safety in the usage of public transport and private transport. Doing what we can to improve those who are involved with transport, whether it be our taxi drivers, our minibus drivers, pedestrians. We'd like transport to be cleaner. There are goals that we want to set on cleaner options, such as how we're going to factor in electrical cars, electrical vehicles into the future of transport, how we're going to modernize and make our transport system smarter. These are things that, perhaps even without the green paper, we can actually begin to shape and do. So these are things that we are looking at anyway, but we want public involvement. This is not just about what the government itself will decide. It's about being in a process where we work with the community to deploy a new system, or certainly a modified and advanced system of transport that everybody will have use of.
I'm glad that you brought that up, because I do want to ask you about how much input the public opinion, the responses to the survey is going to have. We had the ATV public consultation not that long ago, and there was only 2 that were in favor and 626 that were not in favor of it, and still the plan went forward regardless. I mean, what sort of confidence can the public have that their opinions are going to be taken into consideration when they have that happened just a couple months ago?
It will be very difficult for myself or this government to ignore over 2,000 opinions about transport. Those opinions span the whole gamut of the society, not just a part of the society, but everyone, age, race, all demographics, economic background. And so we planned this whole process so that we could have the public feedback. So they are not going to be ignored. It is our goal to have the public shape transport going forward. And it was crucial to have this survey and to have the ongoing public as a part of the consultation process, because we want it to be what they want, as much as we want the government to be committed to putting something in place. But it needs to have the identity of the Bermuda public in whatever plans come forward, so that when they see happening, they'll know that they'll see things that they themselves have put on the table to be considered.
You can count on us. Value pack fresh Purdue chicken leg quarters, $1.79 per pound. Only $1.99 for a large California grapefruit. Only $1.99 for 1 roll Scott Choose the Sheet paper towel. Save $1.06 on select varieties of Minute Maid 100% fruit juices. $6.79 for a 10-pack. Save half price on Dettol Antiseptic. Just $2.99 for a 500 milliliter bottle. Visit our website at www.marketplace.pm for more super specials.
You can count on us. Are you looking to expand your customer base, increase sales, and be a part of the Island Community Events for 2018? Bermuda Broadcasting Company can make that happen.
Be a part of World Cup 2018, Bermuda Day Half Marathon, Bermuda Heroes Weekend, Cup Match Classic, and Eastern Counties Cricket.
Inquire about our new advertising opportunities, whether big or small. We will deliver. Come and see us at Fort Hill, Devonshire, or email us at sales@bbc.pm, or send us a message on Facebook at Bermuda Broadcasting.
Welcome back. Sport now, and the latest from the Commonwealth Games. Earl Bazin has tonight's sports report.
Tyrone Smith has finished 10th competing in the Commonwealth Games men's long jump final, recording a top leap of 7.79 meters. Bermuda's Commonwealth Games chef de commission Couture Horton Parent Chief summed up Smith's performance this way.
Yeah, I think he's disappointed. I mean, he definitely is capable of a much better jump. He felt good, and he was jumping very well. It just didn't come together on the day. I think that, his qualification jump was actually a little bit farther than his finals jump. And I think, you know, he's a little disappointed. Just some technical issues that he says that he can work on, and he should be right back in the saddle. But yeah, I think he's a little disappointed.
The coaching staff of the Bermuda women's under-17 national team were forced to make a change to the team that departs Bermuda on Saturday, April 14th. Sanaya Akinstall has been drafted into the team to replace Jaden Masters, who has picked up a long-term injury. The players and staff wish Masters a speedy recovery. Flora Duffy pulled out of representing Bermuda in the Commonwealth Games mountain bike competition, something that Chef de Mission, Couture Horton Parent Chief, understands.
He has been racing so well. Obviously started off with a bang on the very first day of competition, and then raced very, very hard 2 days later. And frankly, all of the fatigue and anything that could have made her feel less than stellar to get out there on a mountain bike would be dangerous, and it's nothing that we would endorse. And the second she felt uncomfortable, I'm glad that she made a professional decision to do what was best for her health and well-being, really.
The Bermuda Breeze International Tennis Tournament got underway at the Coral Beach and Tennis Clubs today, with action taking place on the clay courts. In men's 50 singles action, Michael Way defeated John Arbach in straight set 6-love, 6-love. Dean Mallow defeated Christopher Barjett 6-love, 6-4. In men's 60 singles action, Robert Steinmetz defeated David Watt 7-6, 6-3. Wilfred Gonzalez defeated Richard Adler 7-6, 1-6, 7-6. In 65 men's singles action, Michael Cain defeated Michael Harvey in a 3-set battle 7-5, 4-6, 7-5. Roy Riley got by Casey Moore 6-3, 6-4. Ross Hillian defeated Joseph Linden 6-4, 6-4. Larry Eichbaum, the tournament referee from the United States Tennis Association, is excited to be in Bermuda and highlights just some of the states and players represented in the tournament.
Great players from all over the United States are here, from California, New York, Annapolis, Houston, Texas, and they're all here for this beautiful weather and beautiful club to play in the Coral Beach Breeze Clay Court Championships. Yeah. Well, a former French Open star, Frederick McNair, is here, and he's going to be playing doubles and singles. And just lots of Guillermo Cousin from Houston, and he's in the 40s division. He's a statewide and a nationally ranked player from the States.
The Bermuda Football Association have announced the postponed FA Challenge Cup final replay will take place on Saturday, April 14th, with an 8 p.m. kickoff at the National Sports Center. Dyer Parfit Williams scored twice to help NK Ruda Valenja defeat Alumje 4-2 in Slovenia Premier League action. Dominic Radic also added 2 goals, helping them to their 12th victory of the season, which moved them into 4th place, 4 points ahead of 5th place Celta. Parfit Williams scored the team's 3rd and 4th goals of the game to take his scoring tally to 4 on the season. Renee Otterbeard represented the University of Hartford at the Mark Young Invitational Track Meet. Otterbeard finished 11th competing in the women's 400-meter dash, clocking a time of 1:03.95, this after finishing 4th in Heat 2. Elizabeth Parsons and her Wagner College women's golf teammates are in 3rd place, just 9 shots behind leaders LIU Brooklyn and 4 back of 2nd place Columbia after the first round of a 2-day 36-hole Vanessa Peixoto Perrine Memorial Intercollegiate Women's Golf Tournament. Sophomore Parsons is in a tie for 14th after a 10-over par 82 first round. Another rainy day in Mill Bay was turned around to be an exciting and sweat-filled day for 32 Brentwood College School rowers, including Yannick Hillier, who headed down to compete in the 33rd annual Monster Erg rowing event. Hillier competed in the Junior A lightweight men's final, crossing the line 10th with a time of 7:01.8. In Friesenbrook Minor Continental Bowling League action inside the Warwick Lanes, it saw the Spice Nicks defeat the Underdogs 25-5. The Oddballs got by the Bermuda Pest Control 29-1, while New Hope defeated the Pinjammers 23.5 to 6.5. Quickie Licky Laundry edged the Nifty Rollers 15.5 to 14.5. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
And that's it for tonight. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow with all the day's top stories. I'm Jasmine Patterson. Hope to see you then.
Jasmine Patterson's wardrobe and makeup is provided by Gibbons Company.